Hey everyone! Today, we're going to build a bridge between two worlds that feel like they're universes apart: the messy, adaptive realm of biology and the clean, logical space of artificial intelligence. And I promise you, the connection we're about to explore might just change how you think about intelligence itself.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. This sounds like the setup to a really weird joke, right? You've got this little worm that can literally regrow its own brain, and then you have an AI that can dream up whole new worlds from just a few words. What could they possibly share? Well, the link between them isn't just a fun piece of trivia, it's a massive clue.
And that clue points to something huge, a fundamental principle of intelligence that's substrate independent. Now that's a fancy way of saying it doesn't care what you're made of. It doesn't matter if you're built from cells or silicon. This is a really deep insight into what cognition, what thinking actually is.
All right, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we're going to have to redefine what intelligence even means. Then, we'll look at how every intelligent system, from a single cell to a supercomputer, finds its way through the world. We'll dive into how they learn by basically redrawing their internal maps, and then we'll connect that directly to how AI works. And finally, we'll uncover the single universal engine that drives this whole process and ask what it all means for the future of minds. Let's do it.
Okay, first things first. To really see the connection here, we have to stop thinking that intelligence is something that needs a brain. We've got to broaden our perspective and get to the very core of what problem solving is all about.
And believe it or not, the perfect definition for this comes all the way from 1890. The psychologist William James gave us this beautiful, simple idea. Notice what's missing here. There's no mention of brains or neurons or anything like that. It's just a simple, powerful concept. Intelligence is just being able to hit a target no matter where you start or what gets in your way.
So, if intelligence is about reaching a goal, how do systems actually pull it off? This brings us to our first huge concept, which is thinking about cognition as a kind of navigation.
The key idea is that any problem can be pictured as a kind of map, what the research calls a problem space. So for a living creature, that map might be what's called morphospace, the huge landscape of all the possible body shapes it could have. For an AI playing chess, it's the map of every single possible board position. Intelligence, from this point of view, is just the skill of finding your way across that map to get to your destination.
And this is where it gets really wild, because biology is just full of these incredible navigators. A flatworm's cells can search through transcriptional space, think of it as a massive library of genetic recipes, to find the right one to fight off a new poison. A salamander's cells can navigate morphospace, their body's blueprint, to perfectly regrow a leg, no matter how it was cut off. These aren't just little biological tricks. This is high-level problem-solving in action.
But here's the kicker, the next crucial piece of the puzzle. These maps, they aren't static. They're not set in stone. An intelligent system isn't just following a pre-made map. It's constantly redrawing it based on new information.
This, right here, is what learning actually is. When any system learns something new, whether it's that flatworm figuring out how to deal with a toxin or you learning a new skill, it fundamentally changes its internal map. You're not just finding a new spot on the map, you're literally redrawing the geography of the whole problem space.
And this idea of building and constantly remapping an internal world, well, this is exactly where the world of AI comes crashing into the picture. This isn't just part of how modern AI works, it's pretty much the whole game.
In the AI world, they have a special name for these maps: embeddings. You can just think of an embedding as an AI's internal map of meaning. It's a really clever way to take all the messy, complicated stuff in the world, like all the words in a language, and organize it into a structured, geometric space where related ideas are neighbors.
So take a look at this. This is what one of those maps can actually look like. You can literally see how the AI is organizing language. You've got these little neighborhoods of related words all clustered together. This is the AI's internal map, and the distance between any 2 points on this map tells you how related those two ideas are. It's so cool.
So, what's the machine that actually draws these incredible maps? Well, for AIs like ChatGPT, it's this thing, the transformer architecture. Now, I know it looks complicated, but its job is actually pretty straightforward. You can think of it as a super sophisticated map maker. It takes in all the raw data of language and just meticulously draws and redraws that internal map of meaning, always refining it.
And the real magic, the secret ingredient inside that transformer engine, is something called attention. This slide shows it perfectly. Look at that sentence. The animal didn't cross the street because it was too tired. How does the AI know that it refers to the animal and not the street? Well, attention lets the model look at all the other words and weigh how important they are to each other. It instantly sees the strong connection between it and animal.
And in that moment, it dynamically redraws the connections on its map. It's changing its understanding based purely on context.
Okay, so we've got two huge ideas on the table: navigating a problem space and remapping that space through learning. But what's the engine that drives both of these things? It turns out it's a single, incredibly powerful mechanism that works for absolutely everything.
And the answer is shockingly simple. It's just a little loop. Iterative error minimization. That's it. That's the whole game. You just constantly compare where you are now with where you want to be, your goal, and you make tiny little corrections to shrink the difference, to reduce that error. It's the universal rule for getting things done.
And this slide, right here, this is the entire argument in a single picture. On the left, you have an AI creating an image. It starts with total chaos, just random noise, and it makes millions of tiny adjustments to reduce the error between that noise and a perfect picture. On the right, a biological cell. It's constantly checking its internal state, comparing it to its goal, which is just staying healthy and stable, and it makes tiny chemical tweaks to stay alive. They look nothing alike, but they are running the exact same core program. Reduce the error, get closer to the goal.
All right, let's step back for a second. What does all of this actually mean? What are the big picture implications of seeing intelligence this way? Well, it pretty much changes everything.
Maybe the biggest mind shift here is this. Intelligence isn't a thing, like a possession that some systems have and others don't. It's a process. It's something that any system can do. It's the process of navigating and remapping a problem space by correcting errors.
The paper just nails it with this incredible definition. Cognition isn't just thinking, it's a transformative process, that's the map redrawing, of continual model refinement, that's the learning, under compositional error minimization. That's the simple feedback loop driving the whole thing. It's a definition that works for a cell, a worm, a human, and an AI all at the same time. Which, of course, leaves us with one last kind of mind-blowing question. If intelligence really is this universal process, independent of what it's made from, then what else out there could be doing it? What other kinds of minds, both biological and artificial, are just waiting for us to discover? Or maybe to build?